Hey everybody! Welcome back! It's nice to be back again talking about something, and we're finally back to my DSLR camera so I look a lot nicer and not as overexposed. Mostly because I got my new SD card, so I'll be able to just make one video and not have to split it up. So yeah, it's nice to be back. Let's talk about EVO. I'm just going to separate it by talking about each announcement, and then I'm going to talk about the Smash Ultimate Tournament and my thoughts on it. And I'm going to talk about like Smash Ultimate right now, how I feel about the DLC that's come out, and anything I haven't brought up yet. So let's just get into it. Let's start with Capcom, who released 3 new characters for Street Fighter V, which is cool, I suppose. We got E Honda, who I know a lot of people are probably really excited about. You got your hardcore E Honda fans. He's in the game. We did it. So have fun, E Honda guys. Then we got Poison from Final Fight and also more recently Street Fighter. And you got Lucia, who's new, but originally came from Final Fight 3. So I'd say overall, I mean, they're all decent characters, decent additions. E Honda's E Honda, but they added a couple more things for his combo. So, I mean, it's E Honda. You're still gonna get all the fun stuff. Poison, I looked into the gameplay of, and it's actually pretty interesting. A bit like before, but you know. She has this Spider-Man web swing move now, and that's really cool. I always love characters with that kind of move. So, yeah. And then we got Lucia, which, fun character. It's kind of weird that she doesn't have, like, a gun, because she's, like, a cop. Like, if you don't want a gun, just, like, do a taser or something, because, like, feels like something she's missing from her design. Overall, I mean, more characters for Street Fighter V. It's not the worst thing in the world. Though that is the only thing they showed off at EVO, which I think is a little underwhelming. Like, there's not a new patch for Street Fighter V or an update, or not even a new game. But there is Capcom Cup, and they do like to announce shit there too, so I mean, I'm not going to do a whole video on it, but we can't just count out Capcom at the moment, so hopefully there'll be something cool there. But let's move on to Bandai Namco, who had did I just say Street Fighter? Had Tekken 7 and Soul Calibur 5. So Tekken 7 got, they're doing another wave of DLC, which is kind of crazy, because I think they've already gotten like 6 or like more DLC characters. And some pretty crazy picks too, like Noctis from Final Fantasy 15 and Geese Howard, all these crazy characters. So the first one is Safina, who I think is from previous Tekkens, but you know, not an expert. She has an orb, and she does weird shit with her body. And she has a past. Like, she was doing, like, a super move, and then, like, all these flashbacks came, like, oh, my life, all these things. But I'm pretty sure she's a fan favorite, so it's nice to have her in the game. Then we get the new character, Leroy Smith. Yeah. He is kind of crazy looking, but also really cool. The funny thing about this character is, like, it's probably a stretch, but it would just be really funny if the Tekken guys were just super big fans of Super Best Friends play, and they just wanted to make a character that was, in essence, Wooly. I mean, that'd be pretty damn funny. Because that seems like a Wooly character. Just the right fighting style and all that. But hey, new characters for Tekken as DLC is a great idea. And there's more coming down. So I believe there's 2 more characters for the pass. But it looks like one of them is definitely going to be a guest character because they're coming with a new stage. And the last guest character was Negan from Walking Dead. We have Negan from Walking Dead fighting Noctis from Final Fantasy 15, while also having Akuma from Street Fighter and Geese Howard from King of Fighters and all the Tekken guys. What could possibly be next? Like, with Smash it's kinda easy. I mean, but with Tekken, like, it could literally be freaking anyone. It could be goddamn Chuck Norris. For all we know, so. Super excited, and it's just great that Tekken 7 is getting more stuff because I do think it's one of the best Tekkens. Definitely. It's probably their best game at the moment. But Soul Calibur 6 is also good, and they're getting another DLC season, which is cool. And the two characters they announced for it are Cassandra, who was one of my favorites from Soul Calibur 2, I believe she was in. Though she does kind of blend in with Sophia, but it looks like they've changed their design a bit, so she stands out a little more, so it's cool, because I've always preferred Cassandra, personally. But the other character is, get ready to crucify me, Hawamaru from Samurai Showdown, which is pretty interesting crossover. This new Sham Show game came out recently, and that's a really fun one. So it's interesting that they're crossing over this soon. My only little complaint is that, am I over the frame now? Oh no, we're good. Awesome. My only small complaint is that it's gonna be really hard for him to be distinguished from the main samurai warrior from Soul Calibur. I think it was Mitsurugi. Probably getting that wrong. Soul Calibur 6. Soul Calibur 6. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the main guy is Mitsurugi. But anyway, it'd be cool to have them fight against each other. I just think they could have done a little more of a creative choice with Samurai Showdown. Because there's maybe not the giant character, but the girl with the owl or the wolf dude would have been a different choice because it's just another samurai soldier. They're gonna have to make an interesting gimmick. One thing that might be interesting is maybe his weapon will get knocked out of his hands, like in Sam Show. And maybe he'll get a new fighting style if he doesn't have his sword and he'll be a combat guy. Which could be cool, because I'm pretty sure Soul Calibur 6 doesn't have two fighting styles, it's just one, so that can make him interesting. But yeah, it's a very smart crossover, and let me just flip this thing over. And I'm super excited for it. Next one, SNK, speaking of Samurai Showdown. Sam Show's actually getting a full new season of DLC with 6 characters. I don't know them personally, but I know some of them are new. One of them's free for some reason, which, hey, that's a great idea, having a free DLC character to entice people to maybe buy some more in the future. And they're coming out monthly, which is also really cool, because they don't need as much work as a Smash Brothers character or a Mortal Kombat character. It's just basically the character someone poses and, basic animations, so it's nothing crazy. But yeah, that's pretty sweet. And they also announced the new King of Fighters 15, which I think is a great idea. 14 was interesting, but it still kind of felt a little dated. It felt like a PS3 or PS2 game for the PS4. But Sam Show is doing really well, and it's SNK's hottest new fighting game. So if they kind of follow that design model for the new KOF, I think SNK could really be going back into the race. So I'm super excited for whatever that could be, and I need to get Shamsho because I'm actually super excited for that game. Now, Arc System Works, which is personally my favorite Japanese fighting game company at the moment because of their art style and all that stuff. They just announced Janemba for Dragon Ball FighterZ, and I guess that's a new character. I'll admit I'm not a Dragon Ball expert, but yeah, he's probably like the new villain or something. It's cool to have more Dragon Ball FighterZ characters, but as much as I love the game, mostly because of the art style and it's being 3-on-3, I haven't actually got it yet. I've played a couple matches and some practice stuff, but I'm not like the biggest Dragon Ball fan in the world. But I really love what Arc System does. I think this style can go to a lot more fighting games. Like, personally, is unrelated to EVO, but I would really love a new JoJo fighting game that's in the Arc System Works style, or have Capcom do a new JoJo game in the style of their old JoJo game from the 90s. But either way, I mean, JoJo is a great fighting game concept, and I think Arc System Works would be the perfect choice, since they've just done Dragon Ball so well. But yeah, they got another Dragon Ball character. I don't think they did any big updates or anything, but their other big one, well, kind of big, is BlazBlue Cross Tag, which is a game that I've been interested in, but I haven't actually picked up because it's got Ruby characters, and I was a fan of Ruby a while ago, but I don't know if it's going to be enough for me to get it. Though, it's a much bigger crossover game than I initially thought, because you got some random anime characters like this Swan chick or something, and then you have these characters from, I think it's like Blitz Tank, or it's something German, like based off of World War II. It's like a German-Japanese fighting game. And one of the characters is just a tank with a skull head. And it's just a real character. It's not a joke. It was a real character from that fighting game, and wow. So if you want to play as a giant tank with a skull face, this is the game for you. And you can beat up the girls from Ruby, so I might have to pick it up now. There's a new Under the Night game, but I don't really follow that series, so I can't really say much. And they're doing a new Guilty Gear, but it's kind of been hinted at being a reboot instead of a sequel. I haven't followed Guilty Gear much, but I have played a bit of it, so it's cool to see a new game. It looks like they want to do more camera stuff. Like, it's going to be intense with like the camera. It's going to be the next step, because that's the other thing about Arc System Works, which is why I think they'd be perfect for a JoJo game. They love to get crazy with camera techniques and like sparks, crazy animations and all that. They go in when they make a fighting game, which is why I think they're the best. I mean, they just have a great art style. They know how to implement art into a game so well. Frame rate, all that. So, yeah, I'm super excited for all the Arc System Works. Hopefully I'll get one of the games, maybe Dragon Ball FighterZ, but like, that's a $60 game. I don't know if I could do that. Maybe the Cross Tag game because of all the crazy ass looking characters, but I'll definitely be following them. Yeah. So that's like the last big announcement. Mortal Kombat did release stuff on Nightwolf, but I don't think that was directly put into EVO. And I'm pretty happy with Nightwolf. I mean, that's a character I've always wanted to be cool, because I've always really liked the character concept, and I think they nailed it. And Smash Ultimate released Hero, but we will talk about that son of a bitch later. The only major thing I want to talk about left with announcements was the Snake announcement for Tekken 7, I believe. Yeah, that was awkward. If you don't know, basically EVO attempted to prank the audience by having a Snake codec where it was Snake talking to like a Tekken character or something. It's like, oh, I'm in Tekken. I'm coming to Tekken, everybody. But it was just like really badly done, and it was like an awkward transition. And it just like pissed people off. And it was kind of like a glitch too, because I think they did it at like the wrong time of the show. So, yeah, not the greatest decision, EVO. Which is weird, because like EVO doesn't typically do this shit. But hopefully this won't happen again. I mean, when you piss off the guy who voices Snake, David Hayter, I think you've drawn a line that can never be crossed again. But let's get into the Smash Ultimate gameplay, because that's the main gameplay I followed this year. I watched the top 8 like passionately, and I think there's a good reason why Ultimate's gonna have a big amount of staying power. And I think it's just the character variety, because the top 8 were actually 8 different characters. I think there was Joker, Wario, I think I saw a Peach and a Falcon, Pokemon Trainer, maybe an Ice Climbers. I can't remember everyone, but I know for a fact that all 8 were different characters, and that's great to see, because I love Melee, and the community's passionate, and they're great and all, but we all know that a top 8 of Melee is mostly just going to be Foxes, Falcos, Marths, a Peach or a Falcon, and like 1 or 2 Jigglypuffs. Like, that's basically the game. And maybe every once in a while we'll see something crazy like a Yoshi or a Ganondorf or like a Luigi or something, but it is not often. But I'm not going to say that Ultimate's the Melee killer, but it is kind of the alternative, and it's looking like it's going to stay for a while. I'm really happy Hero didn't get to EVO, and that's the one thing about EVO, they're really smart about not having new, fresh characters that just came out in tournament, or having new, fresh games that like came out a week before it that are way too new to have at EVO. They're usually good about that shit, so it was good to see. But yeah, I was really hyped with the Tweak versus MKLeo fights. Seeing Pokemon Trainer be that versatile is kind of inspiring. I mean, he was not my main, but I do love Ivysaur, and Ivysaur was my main in PM. But even with nerfed Ivysaur, it's still a good character. Hell, I might pick it up. But yeah, I was super hyped. In short, I was super hyped with this EVO Smash-wise. And I think it's only going to get better, because with more discoveries in the characters, more matchup stuff, like, this is going to be a game that's going to last for a while. Way longer than Smash 4 or Brawl did. Like, I think that's a given. Because there's still 2 more DLC characters, still so many possibilities, and still some patches that could heavily change the game. So, all I gotta say is that I'm super excited for future Smash, and let's talk about what's present with Smash right now. So, I'll talk about the 4.0 patch and some stuff I don't think I brought up before. I don't know if I ever, officially talked about Joker. I might have already, but if not, then I guess, in short, I like Joker. It was a really cool idea to have Joker from Persona 5 just be there. It's kind of an off-the-wall pick, but when you think about it, I mean, Persona's a popular enough series. The Smash menu and all that graphic work was based off Persona 5, and although it's not on Switch yet, Persona 5 is a big game, and it's something that Sakurai and a lot of people care about, so it's awesome to see the character in, and I think they did a good job. Gun is a little weird, because, like, I don't know if it can be reflected, but it's kind of weak. Like, I don't see much gunplay in Tournament, unless it's, like, just something to keep away, and then doing, like, the down gun attack, which I'm awkwardly doing right now. But yeah, Joker overall, fun character. I love the arson mechanic, though it does kind of make him really good. And yeah, I don't know. Super excited for DLC in the future, and I think Joker's a good sign of that. But then Hero came in, and ooh boy. I think besides the critical hit thing, which should be nerfed, like either not have it happen as often or like limit the damage or something. Like maybe the more you use it, the more it stales. Like critical hit should be as common as like a 9 from Game & Watch, but it seems like pretty damn common. But I don't know. It's Hero. My other issue is that I love the down B mechanic, but there's just way too many spells. I understand that Sakurai wanted to like make him a big deal, but he could have still had like the most special moves of any character, but still had a reasonable amount of spells. Because like, he has like over 30 special moves, I think, and that's ridiculous. It's freaking insane. Too much random bullshit. Too many like really strong spells that are easy to use. Like, problem is not that he is a crazy combo character or crazy fast and strong. I mean, his normal moves are normal. They're good. Or about average, but with all these spells and random effects, like, fighting against the hero is insane. Because anything could theoretically happen. I believe Australia has already banned him from tournaments. Though I won't be surprised if there's going to be some banning of Hero before he's super, super nerfed by the team. But honestly, even with his bullshitness, I gotta admit, he's fun to play. I mean, unlike Bayonetta, which I never really got into, because, like, I don't know, just not my playstyle. Hero is just fun for the bullshit that you can cause and the complete madness of RNG spells. But I think he could have been nerfed a bit and still would have been good, but not as crazy good. Because he does not need half those spells. Like, maybe just keep the Ice Slash, but not the Fire Slash. Like, all these levels of Kaboom. It just seems kind of unnecessary and kind of crazy. But I guess he wanted to have enough spells to make it really random. And, like, the Clang is a cool idea, but, like, one, if you face against a hero, it's the only way to kill him. Two, it's just kind of, you could just charge, like, a full forward smash and just wait for the Clang to wear off, and then you're dead. It's only really good if you use it as, like, a rock move from, like, Kirby, but it's random if you're going to get it, so it's not, like, a really ideal move. It's just, like, a joke move. I think that's enough of Yura, though. I do remember talking about the Sage Builder, and I mean, Brawl technically is still the best because you get a little more options, but I personally like the Ultimate one more because you can make visually appealing stages. You can have moving layers, like have a Kern move. I think it's really fun. And honestly, yeah, I can't say much besides the Stage Builder is pretty damn good and it makes amazing memes. So I'd give a plus to the Stage Builder. The only thing I think they should add, which would probably save a lot of time, is have like a target. So you can just like add targets into the level, which would make pretty much your own Break the Targets mode. so you can break the target specific levels. Like, instead of doing the most damage,